So I talk about living longer and healthier life. And I'm going to talk to you from research point of view of things that we have. Some of you, you might have seen this or heard this research, which is good. Some of it might be new to you, but health practices, what are the things that you do that will make you live long? Do you want to live long?
Yes.
Only one yes I hear. Pastor, worse than your amen. Okay. Only one person wants to live long. Maybe I should start my question again. Who wants to live until 70 years old? 70. My mother cannot, she's already 79. Nobody? Very good. Who wants to live until 75 years old? You know why I say 75? That's the life expectancy for Malaysia. So, if you want to live according to a normal Malaysian lifestyle, 75, cukup. Mau kah?
In Malaysia?
Ya lah, in Malaysia lah. I'm talking where else?
100 years old have to go to Loma Linda.
100 years old have to go. No, we'll make Loma Linda in Malaysia, ma. Why you don't want? Malaysia version. Oh, Malaysia boleh. I say. Why you don't have to make the thing over here? Be proof that we can live. So, who wants to live 100? Okay, all of you 100. 110? Hey, by the way, the Malaysian oldest living lady is what? 112, is that? 112 years old, if I'm not mistaken. Malay lady, right? Malay lady, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, the guy is from Sabah.
Yeah.
The guy is from Sabah. I don't know how old is he. But, yeah, I want you all to live long. I can picture, you know who's my church pastor before or not? Pastor Ginduk Laun. You know how old is he? Oh, still active, man. And when he was pastoring in my church, that time he was already 70, still driving. And his Honda Civic is the gear one, you know. Can get rosak one anytime on the way. Say, Pastor, you want this car? Yeah.
He's still driving.
Yeah, he's still driving, I know. He's still active. So, he's one future centenarian for Malaysia. Okay, so, you have read, you have seen this. The Secrets of Living Longer. National Geographic gave a... Interesting, they didn't go specifically to Loma Linda first. They went first to Japan. They went and see the places, where are the places that people live the longest. And they did in Japan because there was a researcher in Belgium who decided to do a research on longevity. And he was told, you need to go to Japan. So when he went to Japan, he found all these people in Okinawa who really live long. Then he went to Sardinia. Sardinia is an island, a hilly island, and he found that people live long. And then the next statistic came, I'm doing all this in other parts of the world. What about US? So he collected his data and found out it was Loma Linda. So his story was interesting. He thought Loma Linda is like, you know, countryside, vegetables all around, you know, people living healthy, you know, and all this, right? And he comes through the highway. You've been to Loma Linda, he comes to the highway, just out of the highway, all these fast food joints are there. McDonald's, Weisenburger, whatever you call it, all that whole row of this thing as you come out of the tent. He says, this is the place where people live longer. Sure not. So his story was very interesting. I'll talk about his story just a while longer. Yes, people are doing exercises. One of the most important thing if you want to live long is about retirement. What do you plan to do when you retire? All of us still cannot think of retirement, right? Pastor Tan, you cannot think of retire yet. It's too early and all that. But people like my friends, want to retire. You know. There's one guy who wants to retire at 55 because he said, I can take EPF account 1, finish, settle all my account, I retire. And I said, what you want to do after that? Never mind, I relax. I said, that's a problem. That can be a problem, and that might be a problem when you do not know what you want to do when you retire. Most people will wake up, you see your parents, wake up in the morning, Papa, Mama, what do you want to do? Don't know. Watch TV lah. And then they go watch TV and then they sleep and then sleep, and then wake up, watch again, then read newspaper, and then 1 o'clock, okay, makan. And then makan, go to sleep, and wake up. Don't know what to do. I watch TV lah, wallow toy lah, or something else. And then 5, 6 o'clock, eat, and then tidur again, and then wake up. Like no meaning in life. You got a problem. And the Japanese story says they are very interesting. So this was the picture. This is actually 99 years old when you took the picture then. So this is the data. In the world, average lifespan is 71. Pastor, I got this from Wikipedia this year, so I might be a bit different from yours. The longest is Japan. Initially, it was Macau. So everyone was wondering, gambling can make people live longer. But it's Japan, 83.7. The shortest is Sierra Leone, South Africa, somewhere. South Africa, yeah, somewhere about that part. Interesting. South Africa, you know why people live the shortest over there? Infectious disease. HIV is very prevalent in South Africa. Oh, their practices are crazy. Until now, there's a country called Swaziland actually. I'm surprised Swaziland is gone up a bit. But when we studied about 50 years, Swaziland, if you reach 30 years old, is a blessing. Because nearly half of the country's population have HIV. So the children will grow up without parents. Yeah. So HIV is a very predominant disease in South Africa region. Southeast Asia, at birth, you are supposed to live up to 69 years old. But if you pass at 60 years old, you're still alive, you will probably live up to 78 years old. Southeast Asia. And in Southeast Asia, the best is like what Pastor Connie said, Singapore. Because the facility is good, the health education is very good. Do you know in Singapore, the cost of cigarette is nearly double the price of cost of a cigarette in Malaysia? One pack of cigarette in Singapore is about 15 to 20 sing. I mean dollar for dollar, that's why I said double. Convert that 60 ringgit for one pack. Can you imagine smoking 60 ringgit one day? If you're smoking one pack a day. Malaysia, 17 ringgit. The last budget they wanted to propose, the Health Ministry of Malaysia, Ministry of Health, proposed 50 ringgit. Big objection from other ministry. Ministry of Health say 50 ringgit. Ministry of Finance says no, cannot. Ministry of Trade say cannot. Because I'm part of the group that is promoting stop smoking. So, ministry decided keep quiet. But soon they will come up. Malaysia, 17 ringgit over the past 1 year. Singapore, very healthy. As you know, you cannot chew chewing gum in Singapore. So the health belief and the health concepts in Singapore is good. In fact, Blue Zone says the happiest country in the world is Singapore. Happiest country in the world is Singapore because everybody knows what to do. What the law is, what the law cannot. So they know if they beat the traffic light, the police is there, you kena, you pay. Other country, policeman, this thing. So you know your anxiety, sometimes you feel, don't know whether you get caught, you get this thing, whatever. But Singapore, speak and span, right? Very firm. And so they said, with law and order, it is happy. Correct or not? Think about your house and your children. For you, for some of you, if you say your children has to follow this certain set of rules and the children know, what happens when they break the rule? Most of us as parents, okay lah, give chance lah, give chance. Still remember my father, if something, mommy will say, go and see your daddy. Wait till daddy comes back. Alamak. That will be a very not nice day for us. So when you have firm order, I still remember my friend who is a lactation counselor. She was in Penang, now she's in US. Her baby, for the first 6 months, she disciplined her baby when to breastfeed. After the 6 months, very easy. 11 o'clock, my baby sleep. So you want to go out, we can go out at 9:30 or 10. 11 o'clock, my baby will sleep. And sorry, before that you can go. Before that you cannot go out. After that you can go out. 11 o'clock, of course it's late. But she has disciplined her child so well in breastfeeding that she knows when the child will take the milk and when not to take the milk. And she has disciplined the child in such a way that the child will have 8 hours of sleep at night. She doesn't wake up in the middle of the night to breastfeed. No. Lactation counselor. I think she's done a good job. The child is now in Andrews University already. Yeah, big child. Yeah, big girl. So Thailand 74.9, US is near about Malaysian standards. Why is US so near? As far as I didn't put Malaysia 75. Yeah. Why is US near? Is even though they are so maju, they are so advanced in their medical knowledge and treatment and all that, the practices in US is still not good. Have you gone to a US restaurant? You tried to go to a US restaurant in Malaysia. What are US restaurants in Malaysia? The fast foods are not really a US restaurant yet. They have franchised it and all that. You go to a US restaurant in Malaysia, Chili's, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, TGIF and Chili's. Have you all gone? Have you seen the portion size of serving they serve in the Chili's? When you ask for spaghetti, one big plate, huge plate. That is a normal serving size of plate in the US. Okay? So you go to TGIF, you go to Chili's and you order your plate and it's about 20 ringgit, and that's how big. Americans will sapu that plate in 15-20 minutes. I go, tapao. Tapao sometimes second day also cannot finish so much. So I have to go to the third day. You go to any Chili's restaurant, I don't know, in KL got Chili's? Should have, right?
Yes.
You try and go and you order your food and see how. It's a big size serving. So they eat really huge. They are huge. That's why sometimes when I travel over to US, I use US airplanes because their seats are bigger than the Asian airplanes. Cathay Pacific is smaller. Last time we used to go Malaysian Airlines, Air China. China Southern even worse. Ooh, you really cram up. Whereas I go on Delta, I can really stretch my leg. I can sometimes even go sideways and sleep. So I really am quite comfortable with American Airlines when I travel because they are big size. They are big size people. First time I reached LA, New Year Eve, as I come out, one big guy over there, sitting over there in the airport, waiting for some people to bring the wheelchair to him. And then the next moment you look, another big guy. There's so many obese people in US, so many. You'll be like surprised. Over here, I don't think you see that many also. Correct? You see? Very rare. So Malaysia 75. That's why I say just now, if you want to live like normal, eat nasi lemak in the morning, go to nasi kandar food 11:30 at night. Tonight afterwards, you want to go makan, live normal Malaysian, don't exercise that much. Take a lot of sugar, teh tarik. Of course, we don't drink tea, but teh tarik is the most. You know, teh tarik has 16 times sugar more than the normal teh. 16 times sugar. Wow, that is a lot. Some people will say 8, but from what I know, it's 16. Whew, that is a lot of sugar. That's why the teh tarik is so nice. You ask anybody to eat healthy food, you think they like it or not?
No.
Sugar is reduced, salt is reduced. What does these two do things? They make the most tastiest part of your food. Oil is also reduced. So therefore, you want to eat healthy food, you have to forget about the taste sometimes. That's why I was always think you have to change this taste bud. The brain is 2 to 3% of your body. This one is 1%. Imagine these two things control what happens in the whole part of your body. If you can manage this tongue and this brain to train to eat healthy food, can you imagine how healthy you will be later on? So what will prolong life? Basic 3 things over here, general. Eat more plant-based food. Yes, you don't have to be vegetarian, but it says more plant-based food. No cigarettes at all. That's why the target in all countries in the world is 0. Not even reduced cigarette. It is reduced. It is target 0 as far as cigarettes is concerned. Regular exercise. During our schooling days, during my mother's time, during my great-grandfather's time, do you think any clinic in Malaysia would have put that as a prescription? Please exercise. Got any doctor would write that? None. I remember I had to cycle to school. If the school rained, then I have to tell my daddy raining, that he will come and take me by motorbike, go to school. Or I have to wait in the bus stop for 1 hour sometimes to take the bus from the school St. Xavier's right back to home. In the house it's hot. Wow, do homework. Telanjang only the upper part of the body. right on the floor because it's cooler a bit. Now children, little bit already, okay, the parents will listen to the child. Okay, what do you want? I want my French fries, then only I can do my homework. Oh, okay lah. So the daddy have to go to French fries. Not even the child, the daddy also have to go to French fries. This thing and buy the French fries so the child can do. And then, oh, I don't want this type of place to do my homework. Must be aircon. And so now the children have becoming more and more lazy. That's why the prescription now is to have regular exercise. This lady actually is doing something with the seaweed and the oyster. They go, if you see the video, I don't know whether it's available now, they go swimming in the sea, 85, 90, 95 years old, and they go down and they take their oysters and the seaweed without snorkel, you know. They just go, the water is so clear, they go take, and they come out and they stay. 1995. The children were interviewed and the children says in their boat, they put there the phone number. Why? If the father dies, they said, never mind, he dies in the sea, 95 years old, at least he dies at some place he likes doing. They said they don't have to worry or panic or anything like that. So they let the parents do whatever they want. And so they do exercise, they work even at elderly age. So life expectancy is going to go up in most countries of the world because of little bit healthier practice living. As you know, ladies will always live longer than men. But it's interesting, at the end of my slide, I will jump it now and says, the life expectancy of a family depends on the life expectancy of the father, not the mother. If the father lives long, there's a good chance that the children will live long. And so long is defined as more than 80 years old. In UK, 65 years old and above is only considered old. 64 years, 11 months and 30 days, you're still considered young. 64 years. So you're still young. I presume you're 64. All of you, okay? So we are not old yet. Old is always sometimes a matter of the mind. So Blue Zones, my book Blue Zones is a special book. Where? My book? Yeah, my book is over here. The same book. I like it because I had a picture with the author, Dan Buettner, and he signed for me in this book. So it's a precious book. Now this guy is very interesting. He goes around the world and research. So the first Blue Zones was these three places that we talk about. Sardinia, Adventist, and Okinawa. Okinawa, the special thing about Okinawa, why they live long. So I'm giving you some secrets on why you live long. Number one, the elderly people meet often. They have prayer, you can use the word prayer meeting. They have prayer meeting maybe twice or thrice a week. We pray meeting once a week also cannot, nobody wants to come. There they will, what I mean by prayer meeting is they come, they will sit down, 8 o'clock in the evening, they all will talk, 80 years old, 90, and they all will come, 5 or 6 of them in one house, and then another place, another 5 or 6 of them, another place, another 5 or 6 of them will sit down. Every evening, nearly every evening, 2 to 3 times a week, that's about nearly every evening. How many of you will go to your friend's house in the evening? In Malaysia, they call it kepochi. Why you come to my house? Don't want, only go back, I got something else to do. These people will meet. And if one of them is sick, even better, these 3 or 4 elderly people will cook something and then they will go 9:30 in the house because this guy went researching and stayed with them for 1 month. And they will go to the house who is sick. Why are you sick today? Or what's wrong with you? So sorry you didn't come to our meeting today. You know, I got cough, I got cold. Never mind, I give you soup over here. I brought something for you to eat. How many of you have felt sick and when nobody comes, you feel more depressed? If anybody comes, how? You feel good, right? Still remember my mother? When we were young, remember mother, there was few people that comes to the house, 10 o'clock at night, they'll come knocking in the house. Auntie, got food or not? My mother will say, what you all doing 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock? We just finished badminton, nothing to do. I've got food or not? Then my mother will do something. Correct or not? Yeah. So sometimes they will come and my mother also feel happy and people will come. But nowadays, who goes visiting each other's house? And this is one of the nice things about living longer. A circle of friends. In Japanese, I think it's called moe. Moe. M-O-A-I or M-A-O-I. And I always look, when I heard this story, I said, Hey, in Adventist church we have a prayer meeting. We often meet care group. How often do we do it? Once a week only. Why don't do twice or thrice a week? These people are not Adventists and they're doing it so often. That is about Okinawa is the main thing. Sardinia. Oh, Sardinia is interesting. Every weekend is like Chinese New Year or Hari Raya or Deepavali. The children will come back. Nearly every weekend. It's an island. The children will work on the other part. And on Friday night or Saturday, they will come back. And their children don't come alone. They bring their children. And sometimes the children. So imagine, you are the grandmother or you are the great-grandmother. What happens when your family comes over the weekend? Oh, happy, smiling. You look forward to the next weekend when the children all say bye-bye, we have to go back Sunday, we have to go back to work on Monday. So the grandparents look forward to family reunion in a way. But it's weekly. In Malaysia, where do we put the grandparents? Old folks home. When do we see the grandparents? Once a year, Christmas. Okay lah, 2 lah. Chinese New Year and Christmas. Okay lah, 3 lah. Chinese New Year, Hari Raya and Christmas lah. Other than, Mommy, how are you? Okay, good, nothing wrong. Okay, thank you. Put down phone. Very fast. But we handphone with our friends. Whoa, nicely loh. Hi, today Manchester United playing. What do you think? This person will do this person will do that. Did Lee Chong Wei win or not? Didn't win or not. Talk nicely over there. But with your parents, no conversation. Nothing much happens. So Sardinia, home family, very important, interesting. Adventist, he came and he saw. He said the unique thing about Adventist is your Saturday. He always, when he talks, it's very interesting. He says your Saturday, your Sabbath is special. In Loma Linda, it's very interesting about Sabbath. There are about like 15 churches in Loma Linda. Loma Linda is the size, maybe of Cheras only, a small area town. Okay. But there are about 15 churches all over, scattered. Okay? University church is there, you got the Chinese church, you got the Indonesian church, you got the Romanian church, you got the, don't know, whatever church. Korean church, yes. You got so many over there. So on Saturday, you can see most of them dress up, going to church. After church, you know what happens? Most of them will be together in some form of fellowship. Sometimes they will go to a restaurant, they say, it's time for us to fellowship together, and so they feel like going to a restaurant, so they will go. And you will see everybody usually having fellowship on Sabbath afternoon. If you are a student, very good. Save money because there will be one church which has potluck. So you never spend money on Sabbath. And you will never go hungry. You will just go and pop into this church or pop into the church. You will have fellowship and you will do it very well. And that's what they do. After church, so much activities are there. You got the Pathfinder groups doing a lot of Pathfinders. There's Campus Hill Church that will have their Pathfinder groups on Sabbath. Azure Hill, Loma Linda Chinese Church, Indonesian Church. There are about 4 or 5 Indonesian churches. Everybody will have their activities over there. And then they spill over to Saturday night. So the whole Saturday is church fellowship. They say that this thing is the one that makes people look forward to the next Sabbath. Very important about living longer is looking forward, hoping. When you have no hope, there's no point living. And when there's no point living, you just like that. So even if you're sick in sickness and in suffering, but you're looking forward for something, you will overcome that sickness. This is the blue zone. Okay, remember all these are not SDAs. And what are they advising? Most of the advice is also the same advice from the SDAs. In general, they all don't smoke. They all are physically active. They keep social engagement. They cherish the family. And they eat a plant-based diet. Okay, Okinawa, Sardinia, this thing. Let me go to the next one, the power of 9 by Blue Zones. The power of 9 says there are 9 things that you can do to live long. I'm not sure whether you can see properly here or not. Number 1, move. Move naturally. If you have to go up a flight of stairs, try not to use the lift. 1 floor only. Here I'm trying to use the lift, but staircase I cannot see, so I'm using this thing. 1 flight, 2 flight, even 3 flights. Try to walk up the stairs. Try to park your car furthest away when you're going to Tesco, not nearest to the door. Furthest away from the door. Try to go early to work, so sometimes you can walk around in the church, in the office area, not church, but like office area. Malaysia has 4 aids for a healthy lifestyle. This is advocated by Malaysian Cardiologists Association. 4 aids. Maybe not part of this, but I'm bringing it up now here. Number 1, walk minimum 8,000 steps a day. Number 2, eat before sleep 8 p.m. Your last meal should be before 8 p.m. Number 3, sleep 8 hours a night. Each night. Are you all sleeping 8 hours a night? With internet, handphone, iPad, I got 8 hours a night. And number 4,
Water.
yes, very good. Minimum 8 glasses of water per day, correct. So the 4 aids have been advocated by Malaysian Cardiologists Association for you to live a healthy life. So, blue zones, number 1, move naturally. Number 2, know your purpose. For those of us who are working, very good. We all know our purpose. Monday, wake up, have to go to work, finish, what to do, all these type of things. What about those who have retired? What is your purpose? Of course, for some of you, you can also plan long term. I finish my bachelor, let me do my master's. I finish my master's, let me do my PhD. I finish my PhD, postdoc, according to some people, postdoctoral, study some more, or do something else. Start a new hobby. I know of a person who was a music teacher until what, 59, 60? And after that, she learned tennis. Very interesting. She was a very good tennis player. She said, I can even beat you, Edward. That time I was not a tennis player. Even now I'm not, so I couldn't play with auntie. But she was a very good tennis player. So, start learning new hobbies, do new things. My friend, I told you who had a bypass obstetrician, he is learning to play the piano now, 53, grade 1. But he tells me, very discouraging. Because my daughter comes in at grade 8 and says, hey, Daddy, you play so slow. Come on. And then I get so discouraged sometimes. I said, no, don't look at your daughter. Play according to your this thing. But he's learning to play the piano, 53 years old, grade 1. Are you willing to learn some new hobbies? Number 2, that's why I know your purpose. Number 3, downshift. Downshift means learn to find some time to relax. When is your relaxing point? When do you relax? Don't say only Sabbath. Per day, when do you relax? When do you downshift yourself? When do you de-stress yourself? How do you de-stress yourself? A lot of people think that de-stress is only sleeping. No. There are many other things that you can do to de-stress. I find de-stressing myself is in exercise. Very nice time to de-stress. I sometimes walk alone up botanical gardens for 2 hours and come down. Wow, I feel so good. Yes, it's a bit tiring, but I feel very good. Downshift. Number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 80% rule. Very nice. 80% rule says when you eat, you notice or not? Try experiment. Oh, today too late already, eat already. Experiment, when you eat nicely. And then at a certain point of time, you have a pause. And then you either, you talk a little bit longer, you drink water. You're not still finished yet, but you are 80% full. That's your first pause. Pause when you're eating. That's your 80% rule. That's the time when you should say, Kao Tim. No more already, cukup. But some of you say, Ayah, I didn't eat my chicken yet. Ayah, I didn't eat my egg yet. Ayah, you know lah how the habit of all of us eat. The good food we put at the end, ma. Correct or not? We don't eat it first, we put it at the end. So when you finish eating 80%, oh yo, no chat lah, must eat some more. And then some of us, when we eat some more, hey, got dessert man, cheesecake some more, got ice cream some more. Wow, must makan some more lah, so makan. So 80% rule says when you finish, you reach 80%, that's it, you stop. 80% rule. Yes, talks about predominantly having a plant-based diet. Now this guy is interesting because the study says a little bit of wine is good. Yes, there is a little bit of studies that shows only red wine is good. But I'm not advocating you all to do it. You know why? There is a fine line between little bit and too much. Little bit is 2 glasses, 2 units of alcohol per day. Too much is 3 glasses or 3 units of alcohol per day. So when you finish that 2 and you go to the 3, it's no more little bit, it becomes too much. So can you control? It is very difficult. I've asked my alcohol friends whether they can control 2 units of alcohol that they drink. Very difficult. That's why they say sometimes, Edward, you need to come, help us when we drink so that we don't overdrink. Yeah. So, of course, for me, don't study in the first place. Therefore, you won't be addicted to it. Okay, wine. Next, family first. Very important, huh? Put your family first. Try not to ever put your parents into old folks' home. Number 8, sorry. Belong. And one of the things that the Blue Zones found out is belonging to a religious group is good. Yeah, so being active in church is not just being a church membership by paper, but being active in church. Go to church, do things in the church. That will make you live long. So, in the Buddhist society, only the Christian religion and the Muslim religion are community religious. We have a community in the religion. The Buddhist is actually more individual. No? I go there, I pray, ding, 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 I go out. Sometimes you don't know who goes to the temple. It's more of them going singular and praying. Hindus also about the same. Yes, they will say, I go to the same temple over there. But they don't pray as a group. Sometimes on occasion they do, but most of the time they don't know. It's only the Muslims and the Christians who go to the same church, same mosque, and they pray and they know each other in the community. So that when you do that type of thing, you promote or you build a feeling of belonging and caring for people in the society. So when your church member doesn't come to church, what do you all do? Pastors, you're supposed to go and visit them, kan? Supposed to lah. Nowadays, sometimes pastors don't go. Again, WhatsApp message will come in lah, something else will come in. And so, visitation by pastors, I think that's very important. So, belonging. Interesting, the last one. Belonging to the right tribe makes you live longer. That's why I was telling about fathers. You need to try to live long. Because when you do live long, your children has a good chance of living long. Mothers, automatically you live long. So, the study says it doesn't matter. But fathers, your target is 80 years old. All fathers here, 80 years old. Good chance for your family to live long. My father died at 84, right? I think 84. 84 kan? 85. So I was like, I got good genes. Before my father died, I didn't know about this. So when I look at it, wow, good, my father has given me a good gift. You know, interesting about my father? My father is the eldest of 10 brothers. And he is the last to die. The last to die. Because in the whole family, he's the only Adventist. All his brothers are non-Adventists. And they all died early. My father lived longer than the other brothers. So, I thought that was a very good testimony for being an Adventist. So, this is the picture in Sardinia, Italy. How would you like to have this every week? Wow. Some of the children will think, mahwana. Every time I have to go from KL to Penang, I have to see my parents. I don't want to wait for Chinese New Year to come. But these people are doing it nearly every week. This is the group in Japan. See, they will sit down there, they will talk. Sometimes the younger children will come and they talk, they'll sit down here. This is in the house. Interesting, the Japanese group, they also have their group where? In the market. They will go to the market, they will sell some things. Not that because they want money, they just want to interact with people. So some young people will come and say, wow, how old are you? 95 years old. Wow, wow, wow. What's your story? And you know lah, people like to tell stories, right? So they'll tell lah. And you patiently listen to their story. So these are all the group in Sardinia, in Okinawa. Another study is interesting, longevity study. I will tell you a little bit special about this study done by Belloc and Breslow, which you all have heard about it. Number one, it is done in a county that represents the population of the United States. So all of you think that, okay, I do study only Kuala Lumpur is good, I do study in Penang is good. This study was done in Alameda County, which the study shows that that is a very good representation of all the different types of races in US, not only California, in US. So Alameda County. So there's a good representation of Asian American, there's a good representation of African American, there's a good representation of Mexican. So that's number one. Number two, the study is very good because it involves 7,000 people. 7,000 people to do a study is no joke. Number three, the good thing about this study, 15-year study. So if you were in that area, Pastor Tan, and then suddenly the third year you decided to move out, this is California, and you decided to move out and go to Washington DC or Andrews or what, they will follow you up. They will follow you up. That means they will not like to have any dropouts, they follow you up. What does the study involve? Finding out all your lifestyles only through questionnaire. No blood test was taken. Only through questionnaire. And from that, they found out these are the 7 factors that will make you live long. Okay, so you like to practice some of this will be good. See, again, sleep 7 to 8 hours. 7 to 8 hours. You do a little bit more, not from this study, but you read a little bit more, you should start sleeping by 10 o'clock at night. Because that's when melatonin will be produced in your brain to help you to sleep. After 11 or 12 o'clock, your melatonin becomes low. Therefore, difficult to sleep. Number two, when you go to sleep, you must switch off all the lights. Tutup. Even your small little light from your handphone, out. Zero light. Your quality of sleep will be the best. Okay? That's basically 2 things I wanted to say about sleep. No eating between meals. Eat nicely, breakfast. Eat nicely, lunch. 10 o'clock, in between, nasi lemak, kuih kar, teh tarik or something or like that. And then 3 o'clock again, go and eat something. No. Even shift people working shift, you eat nicely before you go to your shift. Do your work. And then after that, we finish your work, you come back. Eat breakfast regularly. Regularly, as often as you can. Breakfast is defined as waking up in the morning and break your fast within 1 to 2 hours after waking up. So if you are night shift and you wake up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that 3 o'clock in the afternoon is your breakfast. So breakfast is not dependent on time. It is dependent on when you sleep and how soon you wake up after you get. Maintain a proper weight. That one already well studied. Regular exercise, well mentioned. Moderate or no use of alcohol. Again, you see that moderacy over there? Yeah, they say moderate. So of course, as Adventists, we always like to say no alcohol at all. And definitely, no smoking. 7 habits to live long. If you practice all that 7 habits, for men, your percentage of dying in 9 years is only 5%. Nothing to do with food, just only the 7 habits. If you practice only 1 to 2 habits, your chances in dying in the next 9 years is 20%. Ooh, that is high. That means I snack, I don't sleep 8 hours, I don't exercise. Wow, quite a lot. Then you will come under this category where you will die soon. And ladies, if you don't practice any of this, you got 12% dying in the next 9 years. Other studies says, what are the chances of survival? Number 1, there are many factors. Of course, number 1, again, cigarette smoking. Interesting. Education. If you educate yourself, the chances of living longer is better. So, that's why. Does education only involves high school graduate? Over here, the study says yes, but when you look at the discussion, anything that makes your mind active. So now, last week I just talked to my friend about stamp collection. I said, my father has a lot of stamp collection left. I said, maybe I have to do that new hobby now. I have to bring the stamp collection to my house and organize my whole stamp collection with my father. Nowadays, nobody talk about stamp collection, right? Stamp collection, coin collection, first day cover, maybe first day cover got lah. But coin collection, stamp collection, mana ada? How many people know how to take out the stamp from the envelope? don't know how to put in the water, how to dry it, how to put the newspaper on top of it so that the glue will go away, how to put in the album, how to make sure the edges don't get spoiled. See? Lost trade, lost hobby. Yeah. So those are the things that we will have to learn. So high school. So getting educated is very important. So I'm telling all the nurses now in the hospital, RN basic diploma tak cukup. Go for your bachelor's. After that, go for your master's. I think master's is quite good already in Malaysia. If you want, yes, do a little bit of extra PhD. Nothing wrong. Wow, I like to get PhD people because they are rational, their thinking thought process is very good. Yeah. You know, I got a patient who came to me. He says, "Doctor, why you work so hard? You come and join me, go on the cruise. We go international water, gambling one night, 5,000, I can guarantee you we will win." I said, "I got no money to start 5,000 gambling." Okay lah, but never mind. That's why you should not be a doctor. You should come with me, gamble. One night you can get 5,000, man. Wow, that's like 3 nights, 4 nights already my salary. What am I doing becoming a doctor? But I told him, his thought process is totally different. Your thought process is you do whatever you need to gradually and you will live longer. I don't know whether he will live long or not. And interesting, it says the use of antihypertensive medication will make you live long. And it's quite significant. I want to say over here that initially as a doctor, I'm against medication. I wanted to be a surgeon where I found out that, okay, you got a problem, I operate, your problem is solved, you go back, no more issues. Now I became a lifestyle doctor. And what do I need to do? Do I only ask them to say, eat plant, vegetables, exercise, and if you are sick or anything happens to you, do you need medication treatment? I like the witness of Dr. John Bradshaw. Is it Dr. Pastor John Bradshaw. It is written speaker. He is very open about it. He had cancer of the tongue. And so as a preacher, he says, what shall I do? Shall I go for treatment? Or shall I depend on all these faith, belief and messages that I need to do to treat my cancer of the tongue? So he had to seek advice. And I'm glad he seek good advice from people within the church on how he should be treated. And he went for his surgery. Remember, he's a preacher. He was scared that if his tongue goes, how can he speak? And he speaks quite well now. So there is a place where medicine is needed. There is a place where lifestyle is needed. There is a place where natural remedies is needed. I personally am against where people go all out. Okay? Only medicine. No lifestyle. Or only lifestyle. No medicine. I think there's a role in where these things come in. So this study says if you take hypertensive, interesting, medication, if you have high blood pressure and you take it, you will live long. So last week, was it last week? Last month, 2 months ago, Penang Marathon, 3 people came to see me. Interesting. All these 3 people are big marathoner runners. They will complete the 42 kilometers in about 4 to 5 hours. All 3 of them came that week for checkup. Before the marathon, what happened? Blood pressure was all high. All fit people, but the blood pressure was high. I told them, how long have you been monitoring? Doctor, we have been monitoring for about 3 to 6 months for different people. 3 to 6 months. I said, have you done all the lifestyle changes? Oi, doctor, you see us no fit already. What do you want us to do some more? So I said, I think then you maybe need medication. Interesting, they also said, yeah. They also need medication. So there is sometimes a part where your lifestyle cannot change what is happening inside your body. And if that's the case, then yes, maybe a role of medication will do. Of course, I'm not the type of doctor who says, straight away, give you medicine. I would like to have the avenue or the chance of making lifestyle changes and see if those work. Because for me as a doctor, your parameters when you come for your medical checkup should be all normal. If you eat 5 spoons of ice cream now, if you eat 5 spoons of ice cream now, the sugar must be normal tomorrow. If you eat 5 spoons of sugars now and the sugar is high, then you have to reduce your sugar intake. Because it all depends on how your body reacts to that intake in your body. So you cannot say the person eats sugar so much, oh you are diabetic. No, it might not be it. So you have to look and see how it does. As for me as a doctor, that's why the medical checkup becomes very important. None also. Hello, hello. So, sing. So, I think my voice is a bit loud also. So, it is very important for you all to know where your levels are. Because your lifestyle might be very good, but your body cannot handle it anymore. And it's all part sometimes of the aging process. Health habits. Yeah, I think this is the same. Less stress, more socializing. As people age, have someone check in on you is very important. Number 2, other people can give our lives meaning. A reason is to get up and get out of the house. That's why my mother, I tried to move her out from the house. She said, don't want. Everybody in my neighborhood I know already. You want me to take to your house? I don't know anybody there already. So true enough, my mother likes all her friends in the neighborhood. They know her. Saturday, if she wants to get something, she'll tell her friend, I'm going to church, you buy for me my vegetables, okay? Dang, 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 dang. Or they all have their agreement on what to do for her Sabbath. So she knows already all her neighbors and the people in the neighborhood. Do you know your neighborhood? Do you know people in your neighborhood? Happiness in an old age may have to do more with the attitude rather than the actual health. So optimism, just like what Pastor is saying, is very important. Be optimistic. A useless life is an early death. There are two most fatally dangerous years of your life is the time you were born, because you are born to a sinful world. And the time you retire. Dangerous years of your life is the time you retire. If you do not have any belongings, you are alone in this world and you do not have a purpose, lots of problems. And this is where sometimes as a church, if you can recognize individuals like this, the church needs to come in and help and support. Woman on an average survives 1020 days after attaining 100 years. That means probably another 3 years. Men on the other hand survive an average of 780. So after 100 years old, ladies will continue to live longer. Men about 2 years, ladies about 3 years. The gender difference in survival in the first 2 years are not significant. Okay. However, the difference in the significance means it's relevant. I will put that word, or important. So only after 3 years, that ladies, if you reach 100 years old, you will live longer than men. So remember I told you father's age of death was found to exert a positive effect on the number of days of survival of centenarians. The father's age is very important for the family. Thank you on this part. Any questions on this? I talk a lot about lifestyle. I opened the floor before I...
You mentioned about 1 hour after you wake up is breakfast.
Yeah, breakfast.
So if people wake up early, then they have to eat early.
Correct.
Regularly.
Correct. The reason is you break the fast. You were fasting for 8 hours in your sleep, right? So when you wake up in the morning, you need that energy to supplement all your activities for the day. If you don't, they found out that if you eat breakfast late, accidents are more prone to happen. Yeah, so it is very important for you to eat breakfast.
Is there age time? I read somewhere also they say it must be before 9.
I didn't hear about that part, 9. I only know 1 to 2 hours after you wake up. So sorry, you were saying what?
Yeah, well, like let's say you eat always at 8 o'clock, you wake up 6, then you don't eat until 8 o'clock. Is that regular or you eat?
If you have done that in such a way that your body is adjusted to it, then okay. I doubt that if you sleep, if you fasted for 8 hours, that means you sleep 8 hours, you wake up at 6 o'clock, you go to eat at 8 o'clock. I doubt. Because you're hungry, ma.
Yeah, but then I never started to eat at 8, so I eat at 8 o'clock.
So I guess if you have,
Yeah, about this 1 to 2 hours.
I guess if you have trained your body in such a way, then that's fine. Any other questions about the health part? None. I'm going to go very fast on this thing called mission trips and then... Okay. Who can be involved in mission trips? Everyone. Anyone. Okay? Sometimes a student, just last week, a student asked me, Doctor, I want to go for mission trip, can or not? I said, sure. What can I do? So many things. You're a student nurse, so you can take blood pressure, you can still take the height, weight measurement, you can do anything you want. Anyone can come for mission trips. I show you a picture afterwards. Although we use the word comprehensive over here, it involves so many things that you can do in a mission trip. So these are the ones. See this guy over here? Do you all know him? Elwood?
Yes.
He is blind. Blind. He said, Doctor, I want to go for a mission trip. Can or not? We were going to China, Wuxi. So he says, Doctor, I want to go. Can or not? I said, sure, come. Next thing he comes and tells me, Doctor, I don't have enough money. I only got 4,000 or 5,000. I said for the whole thing, I think we need about 6,000 to 7,000 because of the airfare and everything all. Then he says, Doctor, I don't have enough money. I said, never mind, you come. We'll find somewhere. When he went for the mission trip, he met his uncle or his cousin from US. They were so happy to meet him. They paid for everything for him. So that's the mission trip. This is the mission trip that we went to China, our second mission trip to China, Wuxi 2011. They were students at that time, so they took off from their nursing college and they came for the mission trip. Of course, you know Freddie Vaughan and came. Pastor also came. Pastor Lawrence Randick and wife. This is Wuxi Church. Wuxi Church is a fantastic church, man. I tell you, you should hear about the Wuxi Church. They are doing what you call total member involvement. Oh, they are fantastic. And this is 2011 already. They will stay in the church Monday to Sunday. You can even include Saturday. Most of the time they stay in the church. I mean, they have their own house, but they will come to the church. They will do things. They make their bread to sell. They make their pao to sell. So they wanted to build a small church. This is the lecture hall. This is not the church. This is the lecture hall. Air conditioned, everywhere. I'll talk to you about this interesting church. This is the leader of our team from US, Pastor Charles Lee, Malaysian, who became a US citizen, dentist. And inside the church, we put all our counters, all our blood pressure, our height, weight, and everything over there. So, Elwood speaks Mandarin. So he says, Doctor, you're going to China, I'll become a translator for you all. Sure. And he turned out to be a very good translator. This is the church building. Part of the cleaning, the sterilization that went on. The dental team. The dental team brings everything from US. So nothing is charged to the patient. Free, totally free. Full, all equipment, everything all there. See the dental equipment? Makan time, vegetarian food. Very delicious vegetarian food. Okay, so this is the team. Again, the dental. And so we are trained sometimes to become dental hygienists. We scale, we do scaling, clean the teeth up. And Chinese people, because they smoke, you want to scale. Normal scaling takes about 15 minutes. For them, 30, 45 minutes, and then you bend down. You see, over here we have to bend like mad after, you see. So that's why the dentist was so happy to have us come over there, and sometimes we take their job there. This is a dental surgeon where he has to extract the tooth in case some of the tooth are very difficult to take out. He has to do surgery. So this is the chair, all the people waiting. And this is, they apply New Start posters. They have New Start over there, so they did New Start. Part of Australia. This guy, interesting, 94 years old from US, decided to come. He says, I want to come. And he married a Malaysian. I don't know where's a young wife over there, somewhere you see. He married a Malaysian after his wife died. So this lady, I forgot what's her name again, Auntie what? She was single all her life until 70 years old and finally decided to marry this guy. So Auntie's got a very interesting story. Anyway, so he was very nice with us, talking, and that's one more thing about Mission Camp. We get to meet so many people from so many countries, from so many walks of life. Zion Church is what Wuxi is called. This is the description. Let me tell you very interesting about the church. They wanted to build a small church. The government at that time says, cannot. You must build a big church. And they say, how to build a big church? We don't have money. So can we get money from outside? Government policy said, no money from outside China. So even General Conference cannot help. So you know what interesting these people do? Wow, this one, you should hear the story. So when we heard the story, we really felt ashamed. Nearly all the members of the church, this church is about 4,000 membership. The church service will start from 8 o'clock in the morning, Saturday, to about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Different divine service. Each one will go like 10 to 12 one, and then 12 to this thing, I think about 4 or 5 different divine service going on to cater for the 4,000 membership in this church. Interesting church. So anyway, What do the church members do to raise money? They sell their house. They sell their house. Sometimes 20 to 40, even some to 70% of the money that they sold given to the church. They keep 30%, 20%. So from a big house, they get into a small house. They sell their life insurance. Wow! And then they give them money to the church to build this church. That was very touching over there. So, because they spend so much money, their houses are all very small. So now they become a small community. That's why I told you, Sundays to Fridays, or in fact to Saturday, the whole day, 7 days, they spend their time mostly in the church. For those who are not working, for those who are housewife or what, they will come to the church and they spend their time over there. Together, they have Bible study, they make their bread, they make pao, they make bread, and they even sell it outside. Wuxi Church. Big church, you see the church inside, double story. Second biggest church, I think, in China. The first one is Shenyang. So, this is one of the service. Actually, this is Sabbath school time in the morning. Everybody will come for Sabbath school. You know what is the Sabbath school before Sabbath school? For 1 hour, 7 o'clock to 8 or 6:30 to 7:30, 1 hour, The study of Ellen White's writing. That's what they do before the Sabbath school starts. They study Ellen White's writing. Whew. The choir. Now, it's another interesting about the choir. They like singing, but they don't have a good choir director. So, they employ a director, music director from the local university to come and be their choir director. Wow. So, I think that it's interesting of how they do their resources. All the 7 church pastors are ladies. Lady power in this church. 7 church pastors, all ladies. Some of them, even the husbands are not SDAs. Yeah, interesting. Elders there, they make their power, they make the bread. This is the senior church pastor of the church, Wuxi Church. This is 2011. I hope she's still there. So this sightseeing. So that's what you do in mission trips. You do your work. You see what is the work, the spiritual work that is done, and you get to see a little bit of China. That's the group that went to Wuxi. This is the group that went to India. From a big group to a group of only 4 of us from Malaysia. We decided to go because Hong Kong Adventist College says, we are going. Can you all come? We don't have a doctor. So my friend who was there in charge of Hong Kong says, Edward, can you come or not? We couldn't get anyone from Hong Kong Adventist Hospital to come. So okay lah, I decided to come and bring my team. At the airport in India, everybody landed. But when we were going to this place called Manipur, those who were born in China cannot go. Because the passport is Republic of China. This area is close to all those who are Chinese citizens. Because it's the border of India and China. So they cannot go. So nearly 3/4 of the groups of Hong Kong cannot go. So all the students have to go to Darjeeling, I think, which is this thing, and we went to Manipur. So they tried negotiation as much as they can. The authority says, sorry, cannot. So finally we went to this place, Manipur. So 3 of us here, and I got 2 dentists recruited from India, who happens to be my wife's niece and nephew. Yeah. This is how we stayed. This is February. In the month of February, Northeast India, very cold. I have to sleep with 3 layers of blanket. Okay, dormitory style. I wanted to show you this because it's not luxury in mission trips. This one, you go to the toilet all squatting. So back to old Indian style. So Lydiana bought this dental cleaning set for us, and it's still in our hospital property. And yeah, so she donated that to us. This is the countryside of Northeast India. So one of the clinics went and heard there is a doctor from Malaysia coming. So all of them pile and come and see me. I saw 200 patients that day. 200. No lunch, no dinner. No time for this thing, makan. You just work from the time 10 o'clock until she was doing the whole BP set. And there's the dental part cleaning. The dentists were doing their work. Goiter until at night. Torchlight. That's it. So sometimes mission work you do like mad. Yeah, you really do like mad. So that is over here. And Pastor Daniel Chua, yeah, Pastor kan? Dr. Pastor Daniel Chua, does preaching at night. So that's what we usually do. We do mission work in the morning or health work in the morning, and we do evangelism or Bible at night. This is the head man of the village, and he showed off his true colors. We stayed in a hostel, a SDA run hostel. So this was Adventist, yeah. So at that time was the Harvest Festival in Northeast India. So they have all their colorful costumes and dancers. Wow, very nice. That's a pig head. Yeah, this pole is oil. So whoever reached to the top will get the prize. I think this was after like 20 times. Not the same person, but different people who are. And there are dancers over here. And finally the team that went, the medical team. Yeah. Then in 2014, we took a group of Malaysian students with Loma Linda University, and we went to Bombay. So we walked through the streets of Bombay, went to the place where Mahatma Gandhi was house prison, went to a festival. Interesting, we were watching from this side, and the member of parliament saw us foreigners and said, "Come to the stage." So we became VIP overnight. Wow, big. This lady is an Adventist, and she works in Bollywood. She's actually one of the producers and even actress. I forgot her movie. Yeah, so she helped us in our program. So we went to the slum areas, Slumdog Millionaire. I've been in Bombay, but I've never been to the slum area. First time going to the slum. The smell will kill you first. Okay, the second is the people. Wow, we had to serve the slum areas. This guy is a pastor. Unfortunately, he's not an Adventist pastor. He belongs to a Sunday keeping church. They have asked him to go and stay in the slum. You know how is the slum? Yeah, probably the size of this, a little bit bigger, double this platform here is their house, which is their kitchen, their living room, their this thing, whatever, all inside there in one house, in one small area. Now I heard the slum areas I saw in Bombay, double story. Oh, hebat man, got double story, and some of them, the top one got air conditioned already. Slum, you know. Okay, so I had to see the patients, and sometimes I have to tell the pastor, these people have diabetes or have sugar, please take them to a doctor. Can you take care of them? The pastor, very nice. Yes, I will do. What else can I do for them? We saw about 1,000 of these slum people. There were a whole group of us. I think there were 4 doctors of us, treating all these people in the slum. For 2 days we were there. Yeah, checking their sugar. Then we went to a place started by a foreigner for ladies, a hostel for ladies in Pune area, Lonavla, I think, something like that. A place where the ladies who are isolated from the public, either they're single ladies or they're issues with that. Then we did our screening in Pune. Then July 2006, Sarawak, Longhouse. I tell you, you all should try to stay in a longhouse. It is a nice experience to stay in a longhouse. Yeah, I haven't experienced this until I went to Sarawak. So that's another thing about mission trips. It tells you about cultures of different parts of the world and the country that you go to. And there, Dr. Ted Chusitet, Dr. Jeevan, Dr. Isaac. So I managed to get a few. This is 2 years ago, and last year the group was even bigger. So my team, we even got her to come from US. We got some non-SDAs in our group, and Dr. Richard Chai's daughter. Lentry. Okay, and so this is the health thing that we did. We also do health education, and of course we pray. Why mission trips? Number 1, seed planting. So mission trips, we help to plant seeds for the local church. Some local churches do not have the facility or the team to help them, so we bring. Long term, making disciples out of both the people who are going as well as in the local church, the area. The need, there's a calling. When there is no medical professionals around, I use the word go ye therefore. So we go. So Penang Adventist Hospital, I haven't done the proper statistics, but I would say 70 to 80% of our church members are nurses and doctors. Actually, nurses. I'm the only doctor. Okay, so nurses. Number 2, they're all young, enthusiastic, whatever. your song is tang, 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 tang. So they are young, they are willing to go. The only thing that is a problem with them, no money. So we cannot go to far places that are very expensive. So sometimes it's very difficult for us to go to difficult places. But most of the time we get around quite cheap. That's why we are willing to stay in tents. We're willing to rough it out just to go for mission trips. Bonding, get to know members of your church, get to know members of, I put around the world, of other people that come for the mission trips. Oops, so I think that's basically it. So this year, there are 4 mission trips that we have planned so far. The first one is in the month of April. Let me see if I got my...
I put it up earlier.
Oh, you put it up. So the first one is the month of April in Nabawan, Sabah. The second one is from June 20th to July 2 to Philippines. That is together with It Is Written group. It's a long one, but you want short ones also can. I mean, you come for a short while also can. So that is to Philippines, Manila. July, let me see, what is it? 16 or 17. Onwards, we're going to Manado. Manado is interesting. We're going to do a health expo, and after that, we're going to go for a short holiday, 2 or 3 days to one of the islands. Manado, if you've been to that, it's a beautiful island. North of Makassar, Sulawesi Island, north of Makassar, the waters and the islands are very nice. So I thought, let's do a retreat for the health team. And in September, we're going to Balaga, Sarawak. So these are the 4 places that we are going as far as mission trips are concerned. All these comes under both the organization of Penang Adventist Hospital Church as well as Adventist Medical Mission, right? So let me tell you a little bit about Adventist Medical Mission. Adventist Medical Mission was set up to create an awareness among doctors, nurses, and everybody else. Awareness that we can do a part in spreading God's word through the medical field. As I said, medical field is one way where we can penetrate and go into areas where other people or other avenues will be closed. For example, in Penang, I even talked to the YB, which is the Deputy Minister of Health, Dr. Hilmi, and says, Dato, if you want us to do health campaign in your area in Telok Bahang, we will go. Oh, really? Good. I have plan. Come, bring your team over. So we can do in any Muslim area or any other areas, and usually also when we do, we're protected. When we went to Manipur, you remember, there are a lot of this infighting, we were a bit scared. When we went, the police went with us to protect us. Yeah. So it is very interesting that when we do medical missionary work, we can go to many medical places. So AMM was for these ideas, to set a group or to set aside a group for these purposes. So every year we have a conference. The last 2 years the conference was in Penang. This year the conference will be in Sarawak, Kuching. The reason we want the conference is we want to be together, united, and be inspired. So we have invited 2 speakers to come. The first is the General Conference Deputy Director, right? Associate Director of Health, Dr. Zeno Charles. So Dr. Zeno Charles is a very good speaker. He is a doctor of geriatrics, but he's also a doctor of internal medicine, and he's been involved in a lot of administrative places. So he's going to be our main speaker. And the second one, which we will hope to get his confirmation, is Dr. John Shenka. John what? Chin, something like that. Anyway, he is a doctor of emergency medicine in the United States. He's willing to come, but he has to apply leave first. And the leave can only be applied somewhere around this month or next month. And so we hope to get him in. So they are doctors who will inspire us. Now, is it only for doctors? No, it's for everyone who are interested in helping out in the medical missionary work. In the union, I would put it, because it's a union organization. So I encourage you all to come. AMM conference will be in August 9 to 12. 9, right? Cindy? 9 to 12 in Kuching. The fees should be up shortly, probably by the end of this month. Cindy is the AMM executive secretary. I can use the word executive. That means she's full-time paid to do the job. So she knows everything about the AMM. So I encourage you, if you can come for this meeting. The last one that we had was fantastic. The speakers, they will speak. I think they are inspirational speakers. Anything else I need to say about AMM?
We will also have a big health screening they're planning over there.
Yeah, correct. So after the AMM on Saturday, finish. Sunday, we will do a health expo, a health campaign in Sarawak. That one, the Sarawak Vision will arrange for that. I think they've already set the place. So it will be a time when we also will help out Sarawak Mission for this. Thank you. Thank you.